Good evening and welcome to the news today. The violence continues in Israel and the West Bank with 3 more attacks today. In the latest, a 25-year-old was moderately wounded in a stabbing attack at the entrance of the Ariel settlement. On the diplomatic front, efforts to calm the situation have thus far been unsuccessful. Even a minor breakthrough hit a snag, with the Palestinians reacting coldly to a proposal to use video cameras to monitor the Temple Mount. Eli Ochenberg, diplomatic correspondent for the News Today, has the details.
While extensive diplomatic efforts are underway to solve the surge in violence, terrorism continues to be perpetrated on the streets in broad daylight. On Sunday, multiple attacks took place, including in Gush Etzion near Jerusalem and in Hebron in the West Bank. In the first, an Israeli's car was hit with stones, forcing him out of the vehicle. He was then stabbed by one of 2 Palestinian assailants who were dressed as religious Jews. A few hours later, a female attacker attempted to stab Israeli border police soldiers. She was neutralized by security forces. Meanwhile, Israel and Jordan, through American mediation, have agreed on new steps to decrease tensions over the Flashpoint Temple Mount. The compound will now be monitored 24 hours a day by security cameras.
Israel welcomes increased coordination between Israeli authorities and the Jordanian Waqf, including to ensure that visitors and worshippers demonstrate restraint and respect for the sanctity of the area in accordance with their respective responsibilities. In fact, they plan to meet soon to strengthen security arrangements.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu reiterated Sunday that Israel has no interest in changing the status quo and is taking measures to restore calm.
I passed on a message in my conversations with Secretary of State John Kerry. There was no change and will be no change in the status quo. The Temple Mount will be managed as it is right now. The times for Jewish visits will remain as they were. There will be no changes. The same with prayer times for Muslims.
But the road to peace remains long and winding as disagreements were quick to rise. Netanyahu denied claims by chief Palestinian negotiator Saeb Erekat that U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry told Mahmoud Abbas that Israel agreed to freeze construction in the West Bank settlements. According to a report by the Palestinian Ma'an news agency, Erekat further revealed that the PA president made 3 demands during his meeting with Kerry in Amman Saturday. The first, international protection for Palestinians from what he described as the occupation and settlers. The second, an international inquiry into what Palestinians are describing as Israeli executions of attackers in recent weeks. And third, a new diplomatic horizon to jumpstart the long-stalled peace process. Washington's latest push to help the rival sides move forward seems to be bearing fruit, albeit small ones. But will the mediation efforts succeed to not only restore calm, but also launch a new forward-thinking round of negotiations? As it stands, both Israeli and Palestinian leaders appear eager to restore security and hope to their people. The question remains, as always, at what cost?
And with me right now from Jerusalem is Eli Ochenberg, diplomatic correspondent for the News Today. Good evening, Eli. So, Eli, you are asking in what cost? And it seems that Benjamin Netanyahu will have to pay a cost in his own government.
Absolutely. This, somewhat diplomatic breakthrough in regard to the volatile Temple Mount compound is indeed very impressive. And we can already talk about the winners and losers, if you will, from this new arrangement. First and foremost is, of course, the biggest winner of this new deal or new understanding. And this is, of course, Jordanian King Abdallah, which proves that he is, that when it comes to move forward in this Israeli-Palestinian conflict, he's the best partner to do so, and he again showcases his regional strength and proves that he's the best one to solve these issues with. Second is, of course, U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry, which can be very satisfied from his latest round of regional talks, and he too proves that Washington remains the most sufficient power to solve the problems between Israel and the Palestinian Authority, and also maybe a hint to the European powers who has their own attempts of getting engaged in solving the conflict. We, of course, as you've mentioned, we have Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, which gains quite a bit from this new arrangement. He shows that he can be a partner in creative ideas. He received the acknowledgement of Washington that Israel has no intention in changing the status quo in the Temple Mount, but he will face severe problems with his right-wing factions within his government, namely the extremist forces, which already announced that they will continue to go to the Temple Mount regardless to any agreement. And we have Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas, which as for now seems to be losing from the situation. He is somewhat being forced to accept this situation, while extremist Palestinian factions, Hamas, etc., are saying this is nothing less than an Israeli American trap. They are not rooting for this arrangement, and now Abbas will have to prove that he too still has a grip over the situation. And indeed, it will be very interesting to see how Netanyahu will deal with the exterior negotiations and what he has to deal with in-house within his own government.
Leo Homberg, thank you very, very much for this update from you. And